What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Roblania Network. My name is A's, and today we're going to be talking about is there a line in Ro-Wrestling? I'm sitting here with Jackson Steiner and my good friend Chris Apoth.
Buddy, buddy.
Nah, I'm
Wow.
just joking,
Good
guys.
fun.
It's John Apoth, of course. He's the one and only.
It's the better Apoth.
Facts, the best of Apoth. Always have been, always will be.
Yeah. So how are we all doing today? All right. Actually, let me shout this out. Jackson, you do the intro.
All right. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Jackson Steiner. I'm joined with AVP and Sean Apoth. And today we're going to be talking about is there a line in pro wrestling? Because recently there's been multiple situations in our community where, many things have been happening, and it's bad. It's bad. And we need to talk about it.
Okay, but first let's
Sean.
talk. Let's talk about Roblox.com crashing. What does this
Yeah,
mean for the
what's
future of
Roblox has
wrestling?
been weird lately, man. It's fucking. First we had chat lag. Now we got fucking a burrito crashing Roblox.
How is that a thing? What is this with the burrito that I've been hearing?
Okay, so like what I heard, it's like Roblox had a partnership with Chipotle, right? And then like they made a free like burrito item to buy, an accessory. And something in the code when they were coding it went wrong. And of course, we know Roblox has like let's say 14 million players like daily. We'll take like half of that. So 7 million people rushed to buy the burrito when it went out, and of course 7 million people buying a wrong line of code and adding it to their avatar. It just fucked Roblox. But that's all. That's what I've heard. I heard
You're
it
joking, right?
messed it
That
up.
there's no way
I
that's
wish
real.
I was. I It sucks
You're
to say Row Wrestling was put on pause because of a burrito.
you're telling me that a burrito was the cause of
Hey,
a
that's
million
what the
dollar
streets are
company
saying.
crashing?
That's what the streets are saying. I'm
Well,
just repeating what
goddamn.
the streets told me.
I I don't know what to say, man. That's
Roblox doesn't know what to say either. Don't worry.
Jackson. I know you've personally been affected by this. You told me that your hands were shaking because Roblox went down.
No, no, my body was shaking. I can't feel my muscles. My body is deteriorating.
Yeah, actually, fun fact. When I was when I first logged on to Roblox.com and saw the little image saying we're making things awesome, be back soon, I actually I was talking to a girl and immediately I had to hang up. I couldn't tell her what was happening. My hands started shaking, my face started feeling red, and I could feel this inching pain in my stomach, thinking about what would happen to Roblania Studios, what would happen to Mysterious Mystery, which you can actually buy as soon as Roblox comes back up for 25, coming out officially this December. And
Shameless plug.
Yes.
it's just been really tough. Um, Now that I don't really know what to do with my life, so I've been learning different hobbies. Apparently, there's this thing outside called grace
Grass.
grass. Is that it? And
Yeah, grass.
I've just been really like touching it and trying to, but it just doesn't. It's not as good as my keyboard, but
It's not giving the same effect, right?
mhm, mhm.
Mm.
And God forbid my soul if I was like Shanapath, if I was like an actual, pro wrestler. I mean, I cannot imagine what you guys are going through right now.
I mean,
It's
yeah,
painful.
it is. It's painful. I remember going to the basketball court with some of my homeboys, and like, I picked up the basketball. I didn't know what to do. I tried like swinging with it, clicking it, and nothing worked. It was weird.
Did
And like,
you
I don't know. I thought we were playing hoops like IRL. I tried like hitting an imaginary keeper and hitting X for a crossover move. It didn't work. It was horrible. I walked
Yeah,
in.
yeah, no, no, no.
Uh,
I get what you mean. I even tried expanding my hitbox. That didn't work.
like I tried
really?
like reaching for him from a distance, and he was like, "Bro, what the hell are you doing?" Then just went past me. It was, it sucked. I can't. It was horrible. I don't want to do it again. It was horrible. I just want them to bring the site back. I'm begging them, please. They just need to fix this shit.
Well, one thing that we can fix is the community because there's been a lot of talk on particularly the line of pro wrestling. I want to bring up one topic, which is actually I don't correct me if I'm saying his name wrong, but Zetherno. You guys heard about
Oh my
this?
god.
How could I not? Jesus.
89
56
quote
quote retweets.
89 quote tweets.
Oh,
No,
89.
no, it was
Damn.
90. It was 90.
It was 90?
Yeah, it was over 90. I think it was like 90. The last time I checked, it was 91, and then I think his account's gone, so I can't check now. But yeah,
Damn.
90.
They were
Um,
kicking his ass in the quote retweets.
yeah, he was getting slaughtered. I'll tell you that.
He definitely was.
You know what? What I find interesting is that this isn't even the first time that someone's faked their suicide.
Muddy
Unfortunately.
vintage punk.
Haha, muddy vintage punk. Let's not
Yeah.
forget about that one guy. I forgot his username. It was like some very very small indie guy, faked his suicide. He was like wearing a Hispanic colored NWO shirt. I don't remember his name, but he also faked the suicide. It's not the first time.
Do you guys think this reaction is like justified? Dude, like
Um,
I don't even know. I don't know how old he is. I'm sure
Me neither.
he's
I don't think anyone does.
no, nobody knows. I well,
Yeah,
what I've heard is that he is a rising star in the community.
was a former Rising Star. Yes, not anymore, but
Not
yes,
anymore.
he was.
Okay.
He was and I had the privilege to fight him, of course, before the whole fake suicide incident. He's talented, good guy, but was a good guy. But I don't know what would drive somebody to do that. But yeah, it was messed up in more ways than one. It was definitely shouldn't have been done at all, no matter the reason. I wouldn't justify it. But yeah, it is what it is. He's gone now. Hopefully, never to return.
People have painted this in a really negative negative look. Like Jackson, you tweeted out. This was before it happened, but you tweeted out this community is no longer a community, and I wanna touch on that. Does this mean that the community is no longer a community? For one, I think like I'm just mostly surprised, and I haven't heard anyone say this, but like people are saying that the community is getting worse because of this, and I say no, the community is getting a lot better because probably like last year, whoever faked their suicide would have been like a god, like people would have been complimenting him. It would have been a meme, but like now people are taking it seriously as they should. So I actually think this is progress.
It's definitely a step in the right direction because, you know, this is obviously you said this isn't the first time someone has faked their suicide. And yeah, it's a pretty big thing. And I definitely think if it happens in the future, they should be removed from the community.
Remove it entirely? You don't believe in second chances?
Damn, that's drastic.
Because you also got to bring in age from the fact that there's a lot of dumbass 12-year-old kids who will who will do some dumb stuff. I have to, but I don't think he was I don't think he was that young. Just
It
judging
couldn't
by
have
like
been.
the way he faked his suicide, or like because like I've also heard that after the suicide he he tweeted out the troll tweet, and then he
Yeah.
also tweeted out I'll explain everything, and then he was talking about how I someone said that he was acting like his friend was on his account, or like was
His
on
girlfriend.
his girlfriend. Yes, thank you. Um, and that's really intricate. Like I wouldn't imagine a 12-year-old thinking of that. I would imagine like a 12 year like if it was like a sippy cup type age type person, then it would have like probably just freaked out and then apologized. Um, but this was really intricate. So does that deserve a second chance?
Honestly, no, not well. It depends how you look at it. Me, I want to say yes because this might be a little bit of a off reasoning, but there's been worse in the community. Of course, faking your suicide is bad. You make people feel bad. People get concerned. People think you're actually dead. People don't know if you're alive. And then of course there's the backlash. It's easy to overcome the backlash. I mean, Muddy was able to do it, and Muddy's like the biggest joke in the community. No offense to Muddy. Me and him are good friends, but like Zetherno was a rising star. He could definitely overcome that, apologize. Everyone could forgive him and we can move on. But a second chance, I guess I'd be willing to give him one. But that's just because I'm the kind of person that tries not to hate anybody or see the bad in people. But I speak for myself. I'd definitely be willing to give him a second shot, a little bit of redemption.
Khan in the chat says that second chances in pro wrestling are pointless because they'll just get roasted every time you have a match. And you know what? if you do the crime, you gotta pay for the consequences. So um, Chimpado also says at 12 he should have looked at what he's done. He's gonna make everyone feel bad and could have done more for people in depression. And you know what? I don't think he's yeah, as I said, it's pretty intricate. So I doubt that he's actually a young person, but personally I think that just don't come back to the community. You're just gonna get ridiculed. Honestly, I agree with that. You could, I agree with you. You know, give people second chances, but at one point, it's just not gonna be fun for you anymore. You know. Yeah.
Reasonable. I get that. I get that.
Anyways, we just wrapped up on. Oh, was there anything else anyone wants to add on that?
Uh, just a little something. I earlier you said that the community's finally taking it serious. I think that's only because we've learned from experience. We've had so many people like fake their suicides. At first, it would be like, oh, they're dead. It's just a like, oh, they're dead. It's just oh, and they come back. Oh, it's just a joke. Haha, funny. It's fine. It's fine. But as time went on, we realized, okay, this is getting old. Because what if someone actually did kill themselves? We should take this serious. So yeah, we've definitely learned from experience. Yeah, we've learned from experience in this case. That's all I have to say on that.
And also on that note, this is a really good precedent for the future because not a lot of people are going to be doing this ever again, and um, I could definitely see a lot of people doing this. But again, this is really intricate, really intentional, um, and yeah, Jackson,
don't
you
really
okay?
have much. I don't really have much else to add to this. I think we've said it all. Really, he's not coming back.
All right. Well, I do want to do some quick network announcements while we're here. I just want to say a quick thank you to the boy sitting in the call, Sean Apoth, for coming onto this podcast. We've always had great guests, so it's great that we're expanding. And I just want to say thank you. You know,
No worries, bro. Anytime.
hmm we have the Steiner section coming out this Friday that Jackson has so thankfully written. Um, Quickly, guys, you can vote on the I don't know if you still can. Someone tell me because I don't know how the community tab works, but check on the community tab. You can actually go vote how you would rate Underground of Honor as a show overall. We just wrapped up the final episode of the series. It's a 10-minute video, and guys, if you want to go watch that, I actually set up a playlist where you can see everything there. But if you guys
That
want to see,
community post, that
mhm.
community post you're talking about has 26 votes, and most people are saying it was a 4 out of 5 for 58%.
See, that's yeah, and then we have 15% for 5 out of 5, 15% for 1 out of 5, 8% 3 out of 5, 4% 2 out of 5. So generally it's a positive thing. My main concern is I don't know do you guys personally think it's something that you guys would actually like to see more of? Because there's no doubting that the ratings for the show are horrendous, terrible, barely striking 100 views. Probably the worst Roblania series ever. My my debut on Faux Aggression, just a 1 minute and 22-minute video, has 200 views, and the most recent episode of the finale of the show has 80. But I would love to pursue it again if that's something people are interested in. Sean, what are some things that you're interested in seeing network wise? I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Oh Jesus. Oh God. I'm gonna say. Oh Jesus. I want to see more of what, because I'm in my head, I consider you a very high level person. Like not high level, but you have good opinions, and I know people want to hear your opinions. I'd like to hear more stuff based on how you think the community is going. Like when you talked about the problem with themes, you talked about how feds nowadays feel bland and the same. I want to see more stuff like that, because what fed owners can do, they could take your advice, because you ran an extremely successful fed, possibly one of the most successful feds after APRW ended. Or yeah, so I think they could definitely use little, not all of it, little bits of your advice and implement that into their feds, because feds nowadays aren't really feeling different. Like some feds are even falling under the RWA curse. I'm not going to name drop, but there's some feds that have lost a little bit of the spark after joining the RWA. But your opinions, you have some good ones. You have definitely have some good ones. So I'd like to see more of that kind of content coming from you specifically. And if
Thank you.
Jackson has some opinions too, then yeah, sure, you could toss them in there as well.
I really do appreciate that, and I just want to take this time to say, and this is not petty at all. It's just the truth that I've also had all of the good opinions before they came out. One of them being Ro Wrestling is not dying. If you guys noticed, my video is Ro Wrestling dying, where I say no, it's not. It's just creatively dead. Um, it got posted, and then not even a week later, Luke Cena tweets out, "Pro wrestling is dying," and then everyone starts saying, the stuff that I said, and then the same thing about the themes and people being generic. That and then I put that out, and then Dewey's little tweet posts just explodes, and now everyone's thanking Dewey. So I just want to take this time to feed my ego and say I think we will be seeing more content with me chastising the community. But
So
what you
you brought up. I don't mean to cut you off or anything, but you brought up Luke Cena, and that recently, whenever that stuff around Wyatt and Zetherno was going on, those different situations, I got really pissed off because the more Luke Cena and Hancho talk about Road Wrestling and like how it's dying, and they keep pointing out the negative parts of it. When Luke Cena's not in the community anymore, Hancho barely road wrestles. He only road wrestles for like one Fed. So
Mhm.
I don't see why they really are in everyone's Twitter replies saying how much wrestling is dying when they're not doing anything to fix it.
That's true because like you and me, we're not the most active members in the community, but we're still very very in touch with the community. And even though and I've never claimed to be like like super active or anything, because once you really like step out of that bubble, the only thing that's really keeping me in the community is this network. Um, but even so, you have to look at it from an outside perspective, and I think that um, I think the people in the community are justified in thinking that it's negative. When you leave, a lot of people have this like conception that the community is dying just because they don't like it anymore. And I'll call out my great friend CJ Clutch, who, you know, when he
I
left,
miss CJ.
you miss CJ really?
I
I miss
miss.
CJ
Yeah,
too.
I went to his unfed. Oh, well, damn, I don't remember the name, but God, I went to it, bro. I miss CJ so much.
CJ who?
CJ Clutch.
CJ Clutch, really?
Yeah,
I had no idea
yeah,
you
I
were
was in
friends
his
with him.
Fed. I was in his Fed back in the day. Yeah,
He
I
never had
was.
a
Yeah,
Fed. He did
yeah, he
he?
did.
What?
Yeah, he did.
Wait, what?
I don't remember the name, but he owned a Fed. I promise you, he did. I'm pretty sure. Bro, I don't. I'm pretty sure Duxino went to it too. I don't remember is the name of his Fed, but he had a Fed. I know he did.
Because he's been RWI vice president since 2018. So I mean, like before that,
I swear he had a Fed. I could be wrong though, but my bad. Continue what you were saying.
yeah. CJ has this like when he's usually periodic. Whenever I return to Pro Wrestling is like when he'll return because me and him are very close. And doing things just like returning on your own is very very bad. Like it's a Conlito type of situation where if you have no one in your corner, you just kind of like you have all the the assets, but you kind of just suck. So when people leave the community, they have this like notion in their head where they're like, oh well, I'm not in the community anymore, so everything is bad. And it's weird how the people not in the community are the most pessimistic people. When it comes to Luke and Han, I don't like it when people not outside of the community chastise in the community without giving any real solutions, because that's the thing. And we can actually transition into this one this one tweet that was put out, which is a guy named Rusher tweeted out, "We don't even know how to help change it because it's literally impossible." And I highly disagree with that because the community it's really simple just to fix these things, and I think we've made progress. The fact that someone can fake their suicide and be like, actually like called out for it, and you know and they can suffer the consequences, that wasn't really a thing like 2 or 3 years ago. And a lot of the new gens don't know that. They think this is toxic. They should have seen pro wrestling just a year ago. It was a lot worse. Sean, what are your thoughts on that too?
Man, I've been in this community for a little bit. It was way worse back in the day. I was a main contributor for it. I won't lie. I was a piece of shit back in the day. I will not lie to you. But it was definitely
Weren't we
worse
all?
back then. Oh, definitely we all were. But back then it was definitely worse. Yeah, definitely. Now this is like nothing. Back then we had people like Best Survivalist pissing you off for fun. I don't know if y'all know him or remember him, but Best Survivalist, he would piss you off for fun to get a good laugh about it. Or also known as Pengi. He would make fun of you for no reason. And he would
Yeah.
piss you off just to entertain himself. Like we had people like that back then. Nowadays they do it with purpose. Back then he didn't care. He would bash on Brutal Damon just because he was Damon. It was horrible. But compared to now, nah, this is nothing. I've way worse back in the day. It was absolutely nothing.
And somehow, even though it's like less, there's a less amount of uh, there's a less amount of optimistic culture when the type of pessimism that comes in, it doesn't help the community, and it's not like things are getting worse. I don't like it when people say that things are getting worse. I can understand that wrestling is creatively dying, obviously not from a number perspective, but one of the things that resonates me is like when Caden says nobody in this community is doing anything to change to make this a better environment, and the people who in this community the people in this community who like saying that things are bad never put out anything to help it. I'm one of those people that, bro, if you look at the network, these podcasts and everything, I give people solutions. I tell people what it is. You know, in my RWM video, I even tell Ryan how to be a better person, which is just, just don't be shitty, just stop having an ego. In the Wrestling's Dying video, I just tell people that just be creatively better. That's it. Um there's solutions that are at hand, and I when people say, there's no option, it's ridiculous. It's almost just funny how like people are so pessimistic. So Sean, what do you think are some good solutions?
Uh this might be a long shot, but it's okay. This community, the reason there's problems is mainly because either one, people have an ego because they think they're good at the game when they're really like they're like amateurs. And the second one is just people can't get along.
Pessimistic.
And they have these
So
thoughts. Like let's say for example, a very common one, the women's division versus the men's division. A good example of this would be my good friend Drew Petit. He is the most homophobic guy I've ever met in my entire life. I don't know if he's joking sometimes. I don't know if he's serious, but he hates the women's division with every fiber of his body. And I've tried to talk to him. I've tried to help him. He just can't change. He just can't change his ways. I don't know if that has something to do with off the blocks or something to do with on the blocks, but he's a prime example that this community can change. It's just difficult because you have to weed out the people who are kind of good, like chill, but then you have to weed out the people who are like, okay, he has no chill. He keeps making the same mistakes over and over, and then you got to learn who to help and who to not help. So it's really iffy on if we can help the community or not.
and I apologize. I'm actually gonna take 1 second just to fix some audio issues. And while we're doing that, you guys can enjoy a nice picture of enjoy a nice picture of let's see. Me at AXW. By the way, RIP AXW. Great federation that never deserved to end. But we'll be back in 1 second. All right, sorry about that, guys. If there is any audio issues, don't feel free to let us know in the chat. Speaking of the chat, I would love to read some of the stuff that you guys are saying. Uh, there's some really weird just become wide when he speaks in VC, full on screaming. I think that's the best solution, Sean. I think what you should really be doing is screaming. You know, it's not the audio fault.
You
Jeff?
want me to like raise my voice?
No, I'm just joking.
Oh.
Um Ty says, "Do you mean misogynistic instead of homophobic about Drew?"
No, no. Jew has straight up openly said that he does not like the gay people, as he refers to them as, and obviously,
Is
and
that a
sometimes he'll
you
refer.
don't
Oh wait, what happened? Go ahead, go
sorry,
ahead.
no, go ahead.
Yeah, he'll openly refer to them as the F word, which I'm not gonna repeat, but he's very open about it too. So it could be seen as a problem. It is a problem. So yeah, he's not misogynistic. No.
Yeah. Uh, I also want to address the people. Oh my God, we do this every single podcast. The people saying that pro wrestling is dying. Think about it like this: creatively, it can die. Um, and I know there's a lot of young people. So how do I word that to sound?
What are you
Um,
trying to word?
I'm trying to tell them like creatively it can die, but analytically it's doing great. But I don't know how to. You know what? Just go listen to the other podcasts. Yeah. Um. So we're gonna dive into a deeper topic. I think Jackson had to. He can't talk at the room and he can't talk at the moment because he's talking to his roommate. Um. But he did want us to know that RWA just postponed Halloween Havoc. Let's read this out. As Roblox's platform has been unable to use due to the ongoing maintenance, RWA management is left with no other alternative other than to postpone RWA Halloween Havoc to another date. We believe the most suitable date to host Halloween Havoc is 2 weeks after the original date. However, management did they spell management wrong? Management is still discussing a confirmed date to postpone the event to. We apologize for any inconvenience caused RWA management. That's tough. It's really tough.
I just want to say, if management is spelled wrong, it was definitely Marlux that made that.
I was at Marlox owns what's it called?
XWE, Extreme
XWE.
Waste. I mean, Extreme Wrestling Entertainment.
What are your thoughts? Didn't they what are your thoughts on this is aside from that, but I don't know why Marlux just reminded me of PCW joining the RWA. I don't think we've talked about it yet, but you know, you've been here for a while. You know
Hmm.
the whole meme of like PCW is the last resort for the RWA, right?
That's
Now
been a
they've
thing for a
actually been
while.
in there. So,
That has been a thing for a while. I mean, how do I feel about PCW getting in the RWA? At the time, I was a light heavyweight champion. That's a free RWA Minors Championship under my name. I'm not complaining. Sure, everything's happy. Um, but it in the RWA, one thing I'll say about PCW, it has evolved. I remember back then, no one could imagine them in the RWA. They were like DWF, but without Hodgson. They were just another Fed. But as I actually took the time to go to PCW, they have evolved so much. So do I think they deserve to be in the RWA? At the state they are now, yes. Because Isaac is more motivated than ever to produce the best product for PCW. And I've went to their shows. Their product is it's amazing. It's good. Not RPW good, not UWI good, not AXW good, but it's good. It is definitely it deserves to be in the RWA. So props to Isaac, props to Amber, who used to be the co-owner, props to every single staff team member. They all did their thing. They put their hands and their feet into it, and they give out the best product whenever they can. So I'll definitely give it to them. They do deserve it on many more platforms than just to get in kind of scale. They've worked for it. So definitely my props go out to PCW.
another thing, this isn't planned or anything, but there's a lot of people saying that independent federations need to step up their game. And I just want to comment on that saying, I think personally, It's more of a right now in pro wrestling. It's more of a back and forth thing where people will a lot of fed owners don't really have the motivation to go on because no pro wrestlers are attending their federations. Low numbers. The major federations are doing just fine. Let me say that. If people saying pro wrestling is dying, clearly just don't pro wrestle enough or are stuck in like 10-player feds or some shit, or I don't know, maybe they're going through something. But the the independent federations, I look back during, I think it was April 2021 this year, and man, the independent scene was thriving. You had feds like OM, WWS, like just a great period of people doing really well for themselves. And unfortunately, what's been happening is a lot of people are just exposed as and being held accountable for bad people, just period. And a lot of feds have gotten under. A lot of feds have closed down, including mine and RWI, which is probably the greatest loss in this community.
You should still bring one of those feds back.
I would,
Factual,
but
hard
like
vouch, hard vouch.
if I had time, I would, but I do not. Fun fact, actually, during episode, I think it was episode 2 or 1 of Roblania Talk, it was Caden for real tried almost convinced me to return UWI. I was really considering it. Actually, fun fact for the people who don't know, Jesse would have been fine continuing UWI. He never actually had any plans to shut it down. That was all my call. So yeah, you guys can blame me for that. Anyways, a lot of feds have been closing down their doors. What are you guys' thoughts on that? Because it's not just one or two; it's a considerable amount. A lot of people are losing interest in the community, and it's both on the part of the fed owners not putting in enough effort into making their federation feel really authentic or better, but it's also on the pro wrestlers fault because the more time passes, the more generic pro wrestlers have become. It's crazy how custom gimmicks were something that people were pleading for, well, I was pleading for a very long time, and when we finally got it, somehow some way people made it turn into uh really the same attires, the same hair, the same emo rock music, these types of things that at one point seemed cool and now is just completely generic. So how do we flip the switch? How do we get more feds to come back, and how do we get more pro wrestlers to be more original? What are your guys' thoughts?
Well, first, the community needs a lot of I don't know what to say. Like, I don't know the word for it, but the community needs to like come together and like bring the fun and entertainment back, so where more people will start attending more shows, and sooner or later, if we have the creativity back as well, like you mentioned, we will have like max player shows even for the indie feds, because I know a lot of people have thought about an idea of what if there was like no indie feds? Like, what if like indie feds were like just regular feds and every single federation had like very consistent player counts and they were like all the same? Like, in a perfect world, that would be fun. But honestly, I don't know right now.
Is that you done? 'Cause I wanna cut you off. Well, he pretty much took everything that I was gonna say. Yeah, mainly the creativity. You've got to bring back creativity and being different, because if you take those away, we just have people going to feds, seeing the same things over and over at each fed they go to. And also another thing I want to bring up: put don't be scared to put different superstars in different divisions, because every time you go to a fed, it's the same people in the same division and no one's willing to switch it up, because you have younger guys that either want the shot but don't get it, or are given the shot but are too scared to go for it. And it's good to move people out of their comfort zone, because you need to get people to realize, okay, you think you're this good. Let me move you into this division so you can see and test yourself and see how good you really are against some of the best at the time, or some of the best in the best of the best in that fed. So to fed owners, don't be scared to put people in your world divisions. Imperiality, the fed that I'm bringing back, I put Jody Seidel, Jay Seidel, Nate Thorne, and some other people who you don't usually see in world title divisions in that tournament against people who are considered like rising stars. Don't be scared to do that. And when they found out, they were shocked. They didn't expect it. It's good to put them in different situations and different scenarios so it keeps them interested. They know, okay, he thinks this highly of me. He has plans for me. He knows I have the potential. Now it's time for me to max out my ability and prove to him that even if I lose, I went down fighting and that he should keep me at this level and keep pushing me. So that's all I have to say about that.
Another thing that Tydev mentioned in the chat is championships. He says that they don't feel like how they used to. You know, there was a lot of alliances that existed, that being RWA, IWA, and OWA at the same time. He says that he feels like there needs to be a big championship like the NWA championship for alliance and federations. I believe there was one alliance called the DWA, which actually um, tried to compete with the OWA, but under the great and amazing Ash A's leadership, unfortunately, they crumbled before they could even host their first event. And it just goes to say the leadership of this Ash A's guy, and how good he was at doing what he does best, which is being a leader. But I do agree with that. I think there's not I if you guys know any alliances in the comments, um put that out. We'll shout them out, because I'm all about supporting other federations and supporting alliances and supporting people that don't get much attention. One of the things that I did during the Steiner section was trying to help people grow, and in the smallest ways. If you put someone up there, like, the title of the video is WWE has ended, but in the video you're also like, oh well, this tiny fed has this thing, you know, just a lot of people have thanked me for putting them on the section. And the whole point of wrestling is to have a whole plethora of federations to choose from. And the more that we lose those federations, I think is going it's just gonna be very, very unmotivational. And I can understand it, yeah, from like what you said, Sean, about how things are going right now. It's just you know I think we need some motivation. I thought RWR was going to be that, and unfortunately, it crumbled. Jackson, do you have any thoughts on this? You were in the
No,
management of RWR, so what happened to that? Do you know?
I really, honestly, I don't even know what happened.
Yeah. Ty says, I am a COO of an alliance, but I do not want to mention the owner because most of you guys won't like him. Well, Ty, one thing that we do want to say is that we don't like you. So
Damn.
yeah. All right, so we're gonna dive into
Facts.
a more sensitive topic, and I'm gonna just preface this right here. This is a time where we're gonna just uh uh we're just gonna ban the people who want to just troll in the comments, because it's a sensitive topic. It's a triggering topic, not just for me, but like for a lot of people. So let's just try to keep the chat professional, and have camaraderie if that's possible. And I just want to say thank you for Jackson Steiner and Ty Dev for being such wonderful moderators. If you guys would like to also moderate, let me know. My Discord is in the description, where you can join not just the Roblania Discord, but also the A's private server. Go ahead and give that a nice little join. It's free, it's great. And while you're not on Roblox, you can be listening to us. So, let me timestamp this. 39 minutes. You guys ready to talk about racism?
Oh Jesus. Yes.
So, we're just gonna
Fuck
say this.
crackers.
I'm gonna just say this formally, just so, because I know a lot of people feel very a lot of people feel very misrepresented when um I'll just say it like straight up, like a bunch of white guys talk about racism to a bunch of actual minorities. Um, one memory that I can recall is like when when um when Jesse was justifying using the N word on Roblox. It was a while ago. It was in 2019, but he was justifying it. I'm pretty sure it was because you, Sean, said that you didn't
It
mind it.
was,
It
yeah, it was
was,
me,
yeah.
cause me and Jesse were good friends, and I was like, okay, I don't care if you say it, just don't use it a lot. But that has changed
Mhm.
drastically. I don't believe that people of non-color should be using the nigga or especially with the hard R. I don't believe they should be using it at all if they're not of color.
And with all due respect, a lot of people who I just don't want people to feel misrepresented. So if you do feel like if you do feel like this is a sensitive subject, please don't hesitate to DM me. Actually, a matter of fact, I will leave my Discord in the chat. Dr. A's. So first I want to have Jackson take this away on Wide Montana, Wide Dinero, or Wide Cruz. We're gonna be talking about him. Jackson, you were on a podcast with him. It's since been unreleased. I actually did listen to a little bit of it. I haven't gotten to the part where it gets really, really, intense. But what would you like to comment about this? How did that go for you?
Well, I mean, the interview you're talking about is I did a video with Wide, uh, Jex, and I believe
Vegas.
I want to say Michael. I'm not sure,
I think it was
but
Vegas.
oh yeah, it was Vegas. It was
It was
Vegas.
Vegas.
But basically in the call, I want to say like maybe like halfway through, Wide he was enjoying himself. He finally got on a podcast on Roblania. He was super excited. He felt like a little kid in a candy store, and he started. Uh, he would blurt out the N word a few times, and not even just like with the A at the end, like the hard R. And I didn't really think anything much of it until he kind of like did it consistently, and then I think I DM'd Ace saying something like you're gonna have to censor a lot of this.
That's another thing too. There's a lot of people who I've noticed, particularly in this community, there's a lot of people who are their own race and utilize that race to just be really insensitive. Have you guys ever experienced that?
I might need you to give an example.
Token black friend, you with Jesse.
Okay, yeah, definitely. It has been experienced, definitely.
For those who don't know, I'm actually, I, you know, I have the name like Ashes and AVP, but the truth is I'm neither black or white. I'm actually, from Southeast Asia. I'm the first of my family to grow up in America. First of my ancestry, actually. So I do identify as Asian. But when it comes to doing certain gimmicks, like, that revolve around certain heritage subjects, there's a lot of people who, there's not a lot of consequences when you're doing something that you shouldn't really be doing. Like, doing insensitive gimmicks in this community, I feel like are usually just passed through because not a lot of people like taking a stance on it. I had an experience where I literally do an Iron Sheik gimmick just because I think it's fun, and I went to the ring and I think his name was Perk Angle, just just straight up, unfiltered, just sends a bomb emoji in the chat. And this was in faux aggression. It's actually one of the reasons I stopped attending that Fed because nothing happened to Burke. Not a single thing. And I feel like Fed owners need to take a better stance on when someone does something insensitive or just racist, straight up racist. What do you guys think?
Definitely. There was a situation back then. I don't know if you remember this. In APRW, it was a segment between Desaro and TM Punk. And Desaro and TM Punk is Asian for people who don't know. And Desaro had like I think it was like a dog, and he was cutting it up, and he was like, "Oh, TM, you're gonna love this. It's your specialty homemade favorite." And
Jesus
the
Christ.
community went wild. There was mixed reactions. People were like, "Oh, this is racist." this shouldn't be allowed. But TM was like, oh, I allowed this segment. It's okay. So that's definitely an example of someone using their privilege as being one race to, I don't know if it was to benefit or to be, I don't know, do something to APRW, but that was one way that it was used. Yeah, it didn't go over well. It didn't, not at all. It was mixed reactions.
Jackson, do you mind if I ask you how um how you view this
Which part? You mean racism in general,
from
or
your perspective? Like when you see someone go out to the ring and like utilizing, I think Sean worded it best, like you utilizing their own like privilege. Because the truth is, a lot of people in the community like seeing racist things in arenas. Like I've seen people do just in general really racist segments or just really racist gimmicks and get cheered for it too. So how does that what's your thoughts on that from like your perspective?
well, Sean talked about that APRW segment, and it kind of reminded me of a few times and during the ruthless aggression era of WWE, of how there would be some racist things like that meme of Vince McMahon going up to Cena and say, "Keep it up," and also the rivalry with Triple H and Booker T. I think racism in our community, especially when it comes to gimmicks, it needs to take a step back. And you talked about your rap gimmick that you did in FO and how Perk sent that bomb emoji. Yeah, that's definitely fucked up.
And it was also
And
unfiltered. It was also just really it was him putting a label on something that didn't exist because all I had was really the Iron Cheeks theme song, and like, dude, that's an intentional type of thing. Like the thing about like the gimmick that I was putting out there, that was just a regular gimmick. Like I never ever once mentioned that I had anything to do with Islam. Like not once. People have to put that own label on there. That's intentional, and nothing happened. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just wanted to elaborate on that.
no, you're fine. But yeah, I think in the community when it comes to racism, we need to definitely, you know, look around and figure out I don't want to say figure out who's a racist, but just be aware of because there's gonna be people in our community that will say racist things, and we won't be able to stop it, except for just kicking them out. So I don't really understand how we could fix racism except for just removing them from the community.
See, it's that thing that was tweeted out by Rusher. Like people have this pessimistic attitude towards the community that things can't change. And I think that if we start to put like a stranglehold on these types of things and hold people accountable for like the things that they say, um, these things won't be generally regarded as like a thing. There are communities like I don't know the fucking like Pokemon community or something. The Roblox community period. Like there's not as long as like you hold people who do really really fucked up things accountable, then it's something that you and it also goes for just being toxic too. It also if you hold them accountable, then these things won't happen. Um but a lot of people are afraid because the truth is, if someone of relevancy does something racist, you don't want to get rid of that star power. Like I remember in RWI, this isn't about particularly racism, but Marcus Shea and TDP were just generally really toxic, and we had a really good community in RWI. And as much these two were my top stars, right? And you know, um, and I
Is
don't have a lot
TDP
of big
here with
stars.
facility?
What?
Is TDP here in your facility?
Yeah, indeed. Actually, TDP was in the facility while I was. If anyone gets that, you're a real one. Um, but I had to fire them because they were just such a bad influence on the rest of the roster. If these two top guys in my roster are just in generally toxic, and they made a lot of racist jokes, by the way. Um, you can, if you're gonna do that type of stuff, do that in private DMs, do that in private doors. Don't do that out in public. Don't do that out in a server chat, because that's only gonna influence other people. It's a one by one thing. I look at the A server and the Roblania community server, and these are some really really positive people that we don't have to deal with these types of stuff because it's just not normalized. But in the community as a whole, it has been normalized. It's a problem. That's just me.
Valid. Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
What do you guys think the community can do? What do you guys think the community members and the Fed owners can do to spread a positive influence?
Well, to start with a positive influence, first you need to establish that you're not playing. You're serious. Because what a lot of Fed owners do, they'll like, let's say someone does something bad. They'll talk. I use the term talk very lightly. They'll talk to them and then be like, all right, I'll try and keep this under the rug. I'll let it slide and make sure it doesn't get out. But you're a top guy of mine, so I can't really let you slide. But in this instance, I'll let it slide this one time. A good example of this was what was that one match? Ridge versus Unstable Ken. RWA championship match. The way the match was supposed to go, Ridge Dillon was supposed to use the animation and pin Unstable Ken, right? Sama and Ken were in on the plan to give Ken the animation, making Ridge lose the match, and Ken the RWA champion. They said it was a mistake. Ken and Sama then later dropped Twitlongers explaining they were in on it. Ken wanted to win the title really badly, and Sama was willing to cheat and pretty much change the ending of the match to help Ken win the title. And this left Ridge in an awkward position because Ridge was so convinced that, oh no, that's how the match was supposed to end. I kept telling him, you got screwed. That's not how the match was supposed to end. You were screwed, and you're rightfully still the RWA champion. But he didn't want to believe me. Months go by, they drop the Twitlongers. Ridge realizes he was screwed, and Ken and Sama is brushed under the rug because Ken, at the time APRW ended, Ken, big name in the community, former APRW chairman, swept under the rug. But God forbid it be anybody else. They're out the community. Never seen in an RWA federation again. Sama still was a developer for WWE, swept under the rug, no consequences. Went on to win more titles in other federations in the RWA, swept it under the rug. Nothing bad happened to them.
It's the privilege, man. It's the privilege in the community.
When you're at a top level, the amount of things that you can say is just it's ridiculous. And honestly, the truth is, if Zetherno wasn't a if Zetherno was a bigger name and was just friendly with the community and had a lot of friends, he probably wouldn't have gotten as much backlash as he did. People in this community, I didn't even think it was gonna get to this topic, but like, yeah, man, people have privilege, especially if you're an RWA Fed owner, and people, and Sean, like you said, people just have to admit that they take this somewhat seriously because looking back on my tenure, like, bro, if you've been in this community for longer than a year or two, those are hours every week that you spend. That's at least 365 hours, assuming that's at least like 50 hours. 50 hours if you're spending 1 hour at a show. Just 1 hour. And that's generous because there are people who have this as a real hobby and spend a long time at shows. So that's 52 hours, and I refuse to believe someone would just waste those 52 hours on something that they don't take seriously. Because people, the truth is in this community, people take this shit seriously. They don't like to admit it though, and it's okay to admit that because if the sooner we start to uh, give a shit about wrestling, then we can actually say, okay, well, what can we do to make this better? Um, because I understand that like this is a fun thing, but it can't be a fun thing if there are no lines, if there's no boundaries. And I know like it's like a it's just not fun when it's not edgy or whatever because there's a lot of young people in this community, but like looking back on it, I forgot who tweeted this out, but but someone said stop the racism because it gets you nowhere. And really, like, bro, I look back on some like a lot of the stuff that I said, like Yeah, and like I've also been accountable for it too. I look at the stuff I said 2, 3 years ago, and where did that get me? That got me nowhere. Just it really gets you nowhere, man. And people are young in this community, so they'll laugh. They'll laugh at the jokes, but I'm telling you guys, in the chat, bro, people who are watching this or replaying this or uh going through the DVR, it really gets you nowhere, man. Just being a shitty person online, being a shitty person in real life, it it gets you. It doesn't get you anywhere. And I gotta say it louder for the people in the back, because people are there's just some people who log on, and the shit that they say will just go through the motherfucking roof with no regard. And I think there needs to be a line, because at some point, at some point, there won't be a there. People will take that seriously. Like people can develop bad thoughts because of that. If you're if you're attacking people in this community, like, I think sometimes people forget that we are people. Like, at some point, busting someone's balls becomes a problem. You know,
Definitely agree
Yeah,
with
for
that
sure.
110%.
it's hard for people to understand this because, and I know especially because I've grown and matured so much. But there are young ass people in this community. Like, people in this chat probably are younger than 15, and they it's hard to develop these type of skills where you're able to. And we live in this generation where online being, and I'm sorry, I've been going on for a while, guys, but it's just like, it's again, I told you guys, it's a sensitive topic. People really need to think about this. People need to understand that, like, the more you spread a bad influence on yourself and people, the more that you're gonna stay in that phase. At some point, it doesn't become a phase of, oh, I was edgy, or like I made a lot of messed up jokes. At some point, it doesn't become a phase; it becomes who you are. Like, if you don't have any positive influences, then you're not gonna be able to become a positive person. There in the community, I give you a good example, like SCW, Mighty Reynolds. Look at that community, man. That's something that you want to replicate, because that guy's a good person. And people see that, and people want to become a good person. There are, the more you normalize just doing the bare minimum of just being nice to people and having some sort of camaraderie, the more you normalize that, the more people will follow on that. Because I know a lot of people think that they don't a lot of people think that their actions don't matter. But as minuscule as pro wrestling is in the grand scheme of things, people will follow. Like, people will follow this. And you the viewer right now, you yourself will be a huge influence, dude. Let me tell you something. The people within, right when I retired, I really, really had a bad outlook on this community until I saw people in the Roblania community in our server, and I just see how, like, positive some people can be. Like, people who I just had no idea, like Tydev, for example. The one guy, fucking, I'm gonna botch his name, but Kimpado or Chimpado. I don't know. But those are nice people, because there are nice people in this community. And the more nicer people are, the more positive everyone overall will be. I'll let you guys speak because I've been going on for way too long.
Let me say one thing. The part about busting your balls, it's gotten so bad because that's basically like embroiled into so many people's brains where they don't see past through that shit. They don't really think about your feelings, and they just think they think you're taking it as a joke as well. But they're actually hurting your feelings. You don't realize that, and then it's gonna fall on you. I said it gets embroiled into your brains by, like, it's become part of society, and people don't see right from wrong.
Definitely, I agree with you 100%. Take it from me. You can ask anybody that knew me back in 2019. I was one of the most toxic people in the entire community. I was horrible. I wasn't a good person at all. I was nowhere close to it. It's possible to change. It's if that's if you really want to change. I really wanted to. I sat down. I was back then. I was a Discord packer. I was getting into beef. Hell, even Ken, the chairman of APRW, I was a roster member of his. He didn't like me, and I didn't like him. Go ahead, go ahead. And Ken didn't like me. I didn't like Ken. It was it was weird because I had to go to his Fed knowing the chairman did not like me, and the roster members didn't even like me. I really wanted to change. I sat down one night, I reevaluated myself. I was thinking, what the hell am I doing? Packing on Discord, getting into beef for no reason. It doesn't benefit you. It really doesn't.
Right.
And I changed because that's I really wanted to. Because what the hell did it get me? Nothing. I went from being one of the most toxic individuals in the community to arguably one of the most beloved superstars and individuals in this community at the moment. I treat everybody equally. I changed for the better. I just felt like I had to because it was getting me nowhere. Sure, it was getting me a name, but in a negative light. So I had to reevaluate myself, and I did, and I changed, and now I believe I'm one of the most loved people in the community, and I try to show everybody as much love back as they try and give to me. You can ask anybody that talks to me. You come up to me, I'll talk to you. I don't care if you're some unknown jobber from the indies going to a 10-person fed. I don't care if you're a mid card. I don't care if you're an old gen who's trying to get his way back into the community. I'm gonna talk to you because there's this stigma that, oh, all high cards, all well-known people are mean. I feel like I'm trying to break that stigma. I talk to anybody. You come up to me, we can have a conversation. I'll ask you, how's your day going? How you feeling? You doing okay? So what's up? What you need? I'll be nice to you. Hell, I'll even reach out to people sometimes just to talk to them. I do that. Sure, it's hard to keep up. I get a lot of DMs daily on Discord every day, and I can't respond to everybody, of course, but I try my best. I try to give as much love to them as they give to me. And if you talk to me, if I'm cool with you and you're cool with me, I'm gonna talk to you. If we had a bad history, I'm gonna try and squash all that. So it's really just it depends on if you really want to change as a person. So it really just makes a difference in the community because walking up to somebody and just being nice to them, it could change their entire day around. Because what people don't understand, negativity spreads, and but so does positivity. So if you're positive to somebody and you know say something nice to them and you're nice to them, they'll take that positivity you gave to them. The next person they encounter, they're getting a positive vibe as well, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. Same thing for negativity. You give someone negativity and it just spreads. Negativity spreads, so does positivity. So if you really want to change this community, it doesn't hurt to be nice to somebody. You may not like somebody, but it doesn't mean you can't be nice to them. So it's really just preference on if you really want to, you know, change for the better. I did it. I think anybody else could do it if they
I
really want
think
to.
I think it's possible that Wide could even go through this same phase because, he's been in multiple situations this past 2 or 3 months, and he's gotten hate in the community, mixed opinions, but that's also because people like to. I don't mean to be negative when I speak of Wide in this way, but people like to follow Wide because he seems funny and you know. But I think it's possible Wide could go through the same path you did, where you have these situations going on where you're being really negative and you take a step back and you try to reevaluate your life and what's going on, and then you can become this awesome and nice person like you are.
Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Let's read the comment. uh,
Let's see what we got here. Oh, Carrie. Yo, Carrie, slide me your Discord. We have not talked in a fat minute. She says she's a heel. We were just reading the chat because we went over how somebody could really change if they wanted to make the community a better place. And I use myself as an example because anybody who knew me back in 2019 knew I was a absolute piece of shit. I
Yeah.
was horrible.
Mm.
So yeah, I just did that and went on a little tangent about how you can change if you really want to, and how positivity spreads, negativity spreads, and stuff like that of that nature.
And it's really corny, guys. I know, like a lot of people hate it when people talk about this type of stuff because it's like, you know, it's just like it's like, oh, be nice, so I've heard this everywhere, but like it's true, like there's no other way to word it. And it's like when you actually grow up and you look back at your time in pro wrestling, you'll realize like, oh damn, that person said a lot of the same shit that I said. And you're like, oh, like no matter how small or how, just I think it's really important that people share their stories because there's a lot of people who go through and a lot of people leave this community. Like I've at least seen like 5 comments on Roblania videos that have nothing to do with have nothing to do with people leaving or wrestling or like even discussions where they comment, "Oh yeah, I'm leaving this community because it's toxic." Maybe talk about that. Like talk about it. Talk about the people who do that. Talk about the people who hold people accountable. Bro, like I look at the tag me in movement and like actual wrestling. Why don't we have stuff like that? That'd be cool. Let's start a hashtag right now. Fuck it.
Word. Hashtag tag me in.
Well,
No.
wait a minute. I think UPW took a step in that same direction.
They
with
did,
their
yes.
same tournament.
UPW. I know what you're talking about. The pay-per-view where it was to raise mental health awareness.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Yeah.
was there because not many people know this, but I suffer from bipolar depression, which is a mental illness. So they wanted me to speak out about how all that affects somebody and how we can just be a nicer community to prevent all that. But yeah, UPW did have an event. It was an amazing event. I
Yeah.
absolutely loved it.
He's doing a really good job. Chris just see these are positive influences on the community. If every Fed owner could be like him, this community wouldn't have any problems. Like wouldn't have any of these problems of people leaving and it's just
Wait, so are we doing the hashtag or no?
yeah, we can. What do
So would it
we
be like tag me in RW for a wrestle? Because then it might get looped in with the real, not the I shouldn't say real, with the actual. Damn, how do I word this? With the
with the actual movement? Yeah, I know what you
yeah,
mean.
the real
Someone
life
in the chat
movement.
actually said tag me in RW. I forgot who that was
Oh,
though.
word, Cordova. Yeah, Cordova.
Cordova. I don't know who that guy is, but
He's a troll. That's all you need to know. Cordova, I hate you, and I'm gonna be at your front doorstep after the end of this podcast.
tag me in RW, guys.
Yep.
We'll put you up on the screen
Tweet
and
it
everything.
out, Facebook it.
We want to hear. We want to hear it because this shit is important.
Facebook it.
Facebook it, bro.
Isn't Facebook down? Don't they have a new site now? It's called like Meta. It's like
We
What?
are Meta.
yeah, it's called it's called Meta. It has like a new logo thing. It looks like two
Meta?
balls.
What the
Meta,
fuck?
Google it. Google it, dude.
What is this?
Google it. It's no longer called Facebook. It's called Meta. Google it, bro. I
Oh,
would
well, like
never
the
lie to
website is
you.
still facebook.com. This is a
Yeah,
dumb change. Bro,
calling it Meta.
my mom's gonna be pissed off. My family back.
Instagram's back up, but Facebook is gone.
Yeah, well, that was a good discussion.
Definitely was.
I think we better covered anything. Is there anything you guys want us to go over? I mean,
I went to their shows. Their prod. Let me see. Did we cover? You covered everything. Hold on. Is there anything else to go over? I think that's pretty much it for me. I don't have much unless people in the chat have something they want us to go over. I know my boy Julius has been lurking in that chat,
yeah, chat.
begging.
You guys want anything to go over before we eventually, close this up? And we gotta wait like 5 seconds because there's a delay on the stream.
Yeah.
Okay, the chat wants us to talk about EWF Mania.
Finish Fed. Next topic. Finish Fed. No one likes it. Finish. As my boy Giordano Brother says, finished in my books. Next topic.
Roblania
Okay,
talk
then
about
we
Roblox
stop.
swinging down. We did in the
We did in the
of the
beginning.
yeah. We were talking about how our hands were trembling.
Yeah, it was
Over
horrible.
the Road Wrestling talent, like how the Road Wrestling competition is going. I feel like we did like 5 times already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked about that. Yeah, how Fed owners are scared to put people in new divisions and put them out of their comfort zone. Jeffrey Williams, that is right. I am a top 5 Road wrestler all the time. Thank you. I appreciate that.
How do you get
He's
into
asking
these
you to
things?
list.
Oh, list my top
Yeah,
like,
list the top 5.
like
Yeah.
top 5 all time or like
Yeah.
right now?
Yeah.
All
on the
time?
spot.
Okay, in no particular order. Brutal Damon. Um, as much bad stuff as he did, Eddie Slayer. Um, Ken Rollins. Uh, Ken Rollins. TM Punk, definitely. TM Punk. And who should I put in there last? I'll definitely have to say Sean Apoth. Yeah. Yeah, Sean Apoth. Yeah, definitely. That guy's actually he's the first one on the list. Yeah. That guy's pretty
It's
solid.
interesting.
Pretty
There's
clean in the
no
ring.
unstable Kender kids. I would have put
Oh
them in
yeah.
there.
What? No, Sean
Not
Apoth.
as
He
real
solos
wrestlers,
both
just
of
as
them.
influential
Oh,
people.
as influencers, I'd say I'm definitely a top 10 influencer in the community. I don't know
I
about top
think I'm a
5.
top 10 as well.
Yeah, I'd say if you work for Roblania Studios as a whole, you're definitely in the top 7. Definitely. If you work for Roblania.
Right, that
That's
So
that
hold on,
ass.
wait. No,
I'm being, why would I
Because
lie to
I
you?
wouldn't even put myself in the top 10. I feel like there's
If you work for Roblania, bro, you are the most active and current Roblox wrestling related YouTube channel out right now that keeps up to date. Besides Twitter, Twitter's doing their own thing. They have media accounts for that. But on YouTube, you guys are killing it. You guys get good numbers every single upload. You have premieres that people actually show up to. Like I know some podcasts, I'm not gonna name drop, but
yeah.
they can barely hit like 20
like
They
when
started
what
streaming.
hitting like double digits
Yeah, like you guys are
these
killing it.
podcasts.
You have influence and reach in the community. Like you're definitely like top 6 even influencers all time in the community. Definitely,
Man,
in
I
my
appreciate
opinion.
that.
Well,
Yeah, no worries.
love it every
Dylan
time.
Devitt.
I
Go
love
ahead,
it every
Jackson.
time Sean gives a good dick sucking.
I'm just saying, man. It's true. There's factual evidence to prove it. You guys are a major influence on the community. If you weren't an influence, you wouldn't be getting views, and if you weren't an influence, people wouldn't be on Twitter watching your videos and going to Twitter to complain about what you say because they care.
And
That means they
did you guys
care.
go over that one motherfucker Tyler?
Tyler BSB, yeah, he made a tweet. My boy
Everyone
Jackson
telling
put it
pro
in the
wrestlers
chat.
to stop using rock themes. What are they supposed to use? Pop music. Okay, so here's what I want you to do, Tyler. I want you to maybe look up, AEW music or WWE music, and just look through their theme songs, right? Because a lot of the people in pro wrestling don't even watch pro wrestling, which is hilarious to me. If you look through there, sure, you'll find a lot of the same rock music, but then you'll notice that they're actually different music that don't sound the same, and they don't have to be pop music.
Look at Brian Danielson's AEW music. It's
Yes.
literally just a spin on his original theme.
Oh my god. Bro, people who tweet that shit out, man, like they got to just think for a second, like just compare, you know, it is what it is.
If you don't think it can work, look at your boy Oxo Maxim.
Look, yeah.
Look at your boy Oxo. Look,
Yes, sir.
I don't even deserve to get to talk about this. I'm practically a part of the reason why people use the same old screamy chorus and the same old
Yeah, you
drums and
are.
guitars. I'll be honest, that's practically my fault. I practically made that comeback in the community. I apologize. But look at your boy Oxo. Everybody loves his theme. It's catchy. It works for his gimmick. And it has all of that wrapped in one.
Wait,
It
is he
works.
still doing that Karate Kid gimmick?
Yeah, and he's kicking with it. He's
I
alive
fucking
and
love
kicking.
that gimmick, dog.
He is alive and kicking with it. I mean, like he's been doing big. Former PCW light heavyweight champion. He's been kicking. He's alive and kicking. Former XWE world title contender at their last pay per view. He's alive and kicking. He is doing good. That gimmick is over, and he's doing amazing in my books. He's definitely doing something. Bro, Jeffrey, I'm working on your theme. I just have to pitch it and upload it because Roblox is down. I'll upload it when Roblox comes back up. What else can we talk about? I guess you may as well talk about EWF. Julius is like gonna murder us if we don't talk about
Why
it.
did I make this guy a moderator?
Why'd you make Julius a moderator?
Because he just asked. I didn't want to say no.
Oh, I get you.
You
All
know,
right, Julius, we'll do you a favor.
Fun fact about Julius is when he was gonna go into because we were in talks to have him go in the OWA before OWA closed down. I was actually planning on adding him in as a part of the GMT expansion with the addition of RDW, and I thought he was the same Julius who, the guy who leaks arenas, that guy, that Julius.
Yeah.
I thought that was him, and I said, "Are you the same Julius that I'm thinking of?" Because I was one of the like he leaked like 2 of my arenas, my best arenas, might I add. Um, Still to this day, my best arenas, and he said yes, and I thought he was saying that he was the Julius who leaked my arenas, and that was the reason. That was, well, part of the reason that he didn't go in was because everyone in the OWA was like, "Don't add him in," and I was like, "Okay." I was going. If he said that, because here's the funny thing: I've known Julius since 2015. I'm pretty sure, because he was
Damn.
he was in my federation, RWWW, like my first ever one, um,
Classic. I will never go
classic.
though.
Yeah. He was in it. If you guys look in our channel, you'll actually see, if you scroll all the way down, you'll see that there's a video, there's a gym advertisement for the RWWW gym. And it's actually Julius in a green screen. He used to have the name Farad, and that was him the whole time. I thought he was the Julius who leaked my arenas. So if he just said no, he would have made it into the OWA.
That's crazy.
It was 3 years ago. The official RW.
Damn.
It's a real video. You guys want
I
to go
remember
check
the
it out?
Imagine
OWA.
one word. Imagine one word fucking you into getting into an alliance.
Yeah. No, really, that's what I said. I said he was one word away. Crazy.
I just want to answer one question someone said to me in the chat. Someone asked me, how do you get into my eyes? You have 2 options. 1, approach the chairman and shoot your shot. That's the first option. The worst you can do is you approach the chairman, you say what you want to say, you give him your shot. You're like, okay, look, I want to join this Fed. I know it's a big Fed and you probably don't know who I am, but here's the reasons why I think you should sign me. And then you show him that you'll be dedicated to the Fed. That's the first way. The second way, you go through the same process that I did. You start from very, very, very small Feds because you don't know much about the big ones, and you work your way up. You slowly gain more experience as you go on through those small Feds and work your way up from the small Feds to the indies. And from the indies, you go to the minors. And from the minors, you get to the majors. Then when you're at the majors, you know that you've made it. And when you're at the
Just
majors,
make
that's
sure
the
you
rest of
don't
the real
mess with
test.
minors
Of course,
in the
well, Steph, we
process.
don't do that here. No, we don't do that here. Of course not. But once you're at the majors, you know you've made it to that point. That's the true test. And I passed the test. Not many people can do that. I know people who have came to the APRW main roster, didn't like it, went back to Outbreak. Went back to Outbreak, it didn't feel the same because main roster left an effect on them. They went back to the indies and were never heard from again. So you can either do those 2 options: approach the Fed owner or work your way up from the rankings and get to the status that you hope to achieve. I've got past the status I've wanted to achieve. I'm considered a legend in the community by some, which I find surprising. But I've reached my status. I'm satisfied, and I hope you can get your that satisfaction too. And I will turn my DMs on. I didn't realize they were off. I did that because I was getting too many DMs. And Jeffrey, I yell at you to go to bigger feds because you need to go to bigger federations. I'm tired of seeing you go to these 15 people shows. And every time I join, I get swarmed by people like, "Oh my god, are you Sean Apoth? Oh my god, hi, how are you?" I'll talk to them, but bro, you can't keep inviting me to these 15 player feds when I'm gonna get swarmed by a bunch of people I don't know and talk to them. I don't mind, not at all. I love talking to people, but bro, you got to stop doing that.
Are you
It
Sean
really bums
Apoth?
my day. Am I Sean Apoth? You tell me. For all you know, I could be
Wait,
Fizzle
Sean?
Apoth on Sean's account. But yeah, that's my best advice to you. And yes, Carrie, while you were gone, I managed to do big things. Shut your filthy mouth. Let me turn my friend request on the blogs. And also EWF. I will talk about EWF because Julius has been waiting patiently and I applaud him. EWF, at first, I didn't like it. Mainly because Julius, right? I'll be honest. Back then, me and Julius, we worked together, but that doesn't mean I liked you. I don't, but Julius, I fuck with you now. You're like my little brother. You're like my little brother now, Julius. I fuck with you heavy. Don't worry. But then I actually gave it a chance and it flopped because at the Fed, I was booked in the King of the Ring tournament. And I had to fight Sama Club. This is Sama after he cheated, so he was still good. I had to fight Sama on 40 FPS in GMT ping. I left the arena. We didn't even get to do the first fall mid-match because of how frustrated I was. Later on, Julius invites me back, says he upgrades the D-Lag. Okay, I'll give it a shot. I go. He puts me against Sean McIntyre. I win, surprisingly. And he's like, okay, Sean, keep coming to the Fed and I'll have more surprises to you. I go to EWF Mania. I help him host, and I'm one of the commentators because me and him have a past of hosting together in Imperiality before I decided to bring it back. And the event was good. As much as I hate to admit it, because I know Julius is gonna brag about this forever, about how I'm openly admitting he had a good event. Mania was amazing. Mania was actually it was a good event. I think it was the best event of the month, to be honest. It was amazing. So I'll definitely give Julius credit. EWF is on the rise, and I can see why it is the top GMT Fed right now until XRW comes back. EWF bad plus ratio. But besides that, EWF right now is at the top of the peak of GMT.
I think
So Julius,
there's only one way to describe EWF, which is
finish.
It's called the Midwest because every single thing in it is mid. Skyline
What the
Chili,
fuck?
mid. The Cincinnati Reds who haven't won a World Series since 1990.
Mid.
And every single person who lives here is mid.
But Julius, I'm enjoying your product and what you produced. Nah, I'll do you one better. You say Mania wasn't amazing. Nothing can top APR. Nothing can top RWU Mania. My OGs know that.
Yes.
My
Yes,
OGs know about
bro.
that. My OGs know about that. Nothing could top RWU. Jackson knows. Jackson knows. Bro, back then RWU was APRW and RCW fused into a Fed. It was alongside
Yes.
TNX and ORW at the time. It was huge. It was RCW before RCW was a thing.
bro.
It
New
was
gens don't
big.
even know about RWU.
New
Think about
gens
that.
don't know about RWU.
Think about that. That was
or
my
TNX.
inspiration to start
We
RWI
don't
again.
know.
I went to one show and they were ahead of the game, man.
They were, bro.
They're
The
still
controls
better than
SBR
like
had,
a lot of Feds right now. It's
bro.
crazy.
And to think
Ash,
that's my fault, Jackson. Go ahead, bro. Damn.
I don't mean to interrupt or anything, but I've been thinking about this for like the past 15 minutes. But Ash, recently and I think for like the past 2 months, we've seen like 2 or 3 new media groups come on to Twitter in the Ro Wrestling community. GWM and RWI Illustrated. What do you think about that?
Out of pure bias, because Imperiality is partnered with GWM, I'm gonna have to say I love it because out of pure bias, because I'm looking at I'm in the GWM group speak, ironically enough, and I love it. I feel like, especially knowing Yudis, he knows what he's doing, and he knows how to work a media account. I'm not gonna say unlike RMW, they were good. Just the owner made a few poor decisions, but Yudis knows what he's doing. So to all the media accounts, my advice, don't compete. Help each other. Do not try and compete. That's what RMW did. They competed. Don't compete with other media accounts. Look what they're doing. And if you want to, plagiarize a little bit. Take what they're doing. Okay, no, that sounds bad. No, take what they're doing and help them. Or if you see they're doing good, cover the things that they're missing. Try and be as versatile as possible. If you see they're covering one section of the community, it is not your job, but it is kind of your not obligation, your responsibility as a media account. If you really care about the community, knowing everything, all the information, the side they're covering, you take the other side that they're not covering and you cover that.
Ash, what are your opinions on these new media groups?
Well, as a person high amongst the community, when it comes to like these new media companies, and me being the biggest one in my opinion, and the me having
Most
the best
respected.
quality ones, because here at Roblania we do more than just tweet out who won a title or a stupid question. We have like actual videos and actual thoughts, and we have these podcasts. So I personally think we're the best media company. That's just me. So when I see these new media companies, there's just only like one thing that pops to my head, which is
It's called the Midwest because every single thing in it is mid. Skyline Chili, mid. The Cincinnati Reds who haven't won a World Series since 1990. Every
Hey, can
single
you
person
send
who
me
lives
that?
here is
Same.
I got
And
you.
also, I just want to point out one thing, Ash. When you said as someone of like, wait, what did you say? You were like, what did you say at the beginning when you spoke?
What
You
do
were
you?
like, as someone with as like a top person in the community. Why you said it depressed? Say it with your chest out. Like,
As someone who is the best media owner.
yes, yes. Say it
I
with your
think
chest
they're all
out.
mid. I think they're all mid. I think
Yes.
genuinely. I think, bro. Literally, this is me. This is me being straight up. Like you can. It takes no effort to post on Twitter. That's why my Twitter game is shit because it takes no effort. Like literally, if I wanted to be active, I could. I could just schedule a bunch of tweets and then I would have like literally. I posted like for a gimmick suggestion all in lowercase while I was at school and what you got like 70 likes. It doesn't take that hard, bro. These Twitter media companies are not real media companies. RWM is not a fucking media company. They are a Twitter
Dog
account.
shit company.
Yeah, and they're also shit, by the way. Fuck you, Ryan. If you're listening, you said you would change. Bro, he literally, after I posted that RWM video, you know he was in my DMs apologizing. And you know what I responded with? I think I responded with, like, that's cool or awesome. It was one of them. Because, you know why? Because I know that motherfucker doesn't change. Because I know that guy is a bad influence on the community. Because that's just in his nature. Because, you know, no offense to the media companies. Because they're actually
We
doing a
ran him
really
out of the
cool job with
community.
promoting
We
other
ran
people.
him out of the community.
Yeah, is he gone? I hope so.
I have not seen a single RWM post in months.
I'm trying to find their Twitter. I can't find it though.
Except when he stole your gimmick suggestion tweet.
Oh yeah, that was funny. Yo, Sean, did you see that?
I did. How could I
Yeah,
not? It was everywhere.
yeah. It's embarrassing, man. It's embarrassing. But as for the other companies, no, I actually do want to say like there are. I think Maizen is one of them. There's actually a lot of good media companies. One of them
RWI
stole.
Illustrated.
One of them stole my. Yeah, isn't that funny? How they wanted to collaborate with the person that they stole the name from. Why would it? It's just weird. It's just weird.
That pissed me off even more, honestly. I wasn't
Yeah.
even mad. I got pissed whenever you sent me that
Wait,
shit.
hold
And you
on. Let's
said you wanted
explain
to
it for the
partner
people
with
who
me.
don't know. There's this media company called RWI, like RWI Illustrated, and they tweeted at Roblania, right? Here's the thing, okay? So for those who don't know, and it's pretty weird if you wouldn't know, but I had a Fed called RWI for a very long time, and it's soaked into my Ro-Wrestling identity that I was the Fed owner for that. So you know, it's just weird. It's just really uncomfortable for me. And I can't tell people to change their name. But, it would be nice. Sorry, go on, Jackson.
Oh, he did change his name. It's like OWY now or something.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. It's just weird. It's just weird. But yeah, there are some really good
Um,
media companies that are doing a good job. I just say that bro, yeah, I will say it with my chest. Now that just cuz Shauna Pot said so.
yes, that is what I like to hear. Say it with your chest.
Cause you know what? Roblania Network is the best media company. There's no one else
It
that can
is.
touch me.
Talk your shit.
They can't. RWM is nothing. They're a Twitter
Talk that
account.
shit.
They
Talk
don't
Ryan.
do anything. The videos that we make, detailed, quality. That's the reason why we've been on.
factual.
We've been on for 1 hour and 28 minutes, and we get 15,
And we get
15
no
people
fucking
watching.
credit.
No credit, yeah, bro. Where is
Yeah.
the RWA Feds trying to sponsor with me? Like, I'm here. I've never left. I'm still here. Whatever. But we've been growing like minusculely, like a partnership with SCW. We had a lot of WWE stuff, Tams King. But it's disgraceful how, like, bro, RWM, people will kiss RWM's feet because they have so much support. Just stop supporting bad owners. Like, I'm not the best one, but I'm a lot better than a lot of people because we're able to have a podcast with Sean Apoth and Jackson Steiner and talk about people faking their suicides, racism, and like toxicity in a respectful manner, and also be sensitive with other people. Not a lot of people can do that in this community. So yeah.
I'm glad. You feel good now. I feel like you wanted to get that.
I did. That was nice.
Good.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I could tell you
Oh,
were You were holding that in, bro. That's why I told you to say it with your chest. I can hear it in your voice.
I've just been trying to be humble about it for a
Yeah, I
very long
get you on
time.
that one.
We need to spread positivity. Also aged 30 minutes ago. We're the only good media company.
I'll take the blame for that. I'll take the blame for that. And also, real quick, this person's been begging me to shout them out. My boy Fizzle Apoth, the fellow Apoth, along with myself, wants me to shout him out. He's also the co-chairman for Imperiality, so you don't only have to hit me up for stuff for Imperiality. You could also hit up Fizzo, but he wants me to give him a quick shout out. Fizzo, you're the homie. I love you. You know, you're like a brother to me. And you wanted this shout out, and I made you beg for it in my DMs, which you did, which will be going on Twitter after this. Be sure to look out for that. But there's your shout out. Shout out to Fizzle Apoth. His Roblox user is Shiomifu. That's SHIOMIFU. So shout out to Fizzle.
Hey Sean, what did you think about my match with Podia standing strong?
Dude, you could ask Fizzo. I was in his DMs after the match, bro. I was so pissed that I had to leave. That is the first segment in a while where I was invested. I couldn't get out of my seat. As lame as this is gonna sound, I was being called to eat dinner. I've never done this before. I literally told my mom, "Hold on. I'm watching something really interesting and want to see how it ends." For Roblox wrestling. That is the first time in my entire life I have told my parents to hold on for Roblox wrestling. Props to you. Props to Cody. Props to UPW. Props to the staff team. And props to every single person that showed up to that event, because that event was nothing short of amazing.
But yeah, man, that was such an awesome event with hella matches, hella great matches. I enjoyed
Bangers.
working with that event.
Dude, I enjoyed watching that event. Jeez.
Well,
That was
if we're gonna talk
amazing.
about events, I think one of them that Jeffrey bring up is a little thing called Roblania Starcade, which, if you guys don't know, is coming out soon. I actually have recorded it. For proof, guys, join that Roblania Discord server, which is in the description of the video. Description of this podcast right now, and I'll give you guys a little like a picture just to prove that like I actually have matches recorded. Um,
We
Unfortunately,
haven't
though, the matches that I
we
did
need
want
one
to
more match.
happen have been long past due. Top Dogs versus Italian versus the Syndicate, Italian and Jackson. Unfortunately, just won't be able to happen. The RWI Championship match versus Chris Rage and Omni is just really unrealistic to get managed right now. I don't even have contact with Chris, and I wouldn't want to get contact with him just because, and don't really like working with him. And Omni's obviously, really busy, and ZK is, I don't even, it's just, so there will be at least, I know for sure there'll be 3 matches. I want to get more in. I just, it'll come out this December. I'm planning it for December because RWI Mania, as many people know, is in December. So, it's be a nice little wrap up. Yeah.
Let me know when you want me to record some commentary for that.
Yeah, we gotta do that. I forgot.
My fault was answering DMs. Like I said, I get it.
Yeah, that's okay.
Let me see what else they want to talk about. Damn. Wait,
We'll
did
do
Roblox
we'll do one more topic before we close this up because I want to go to the gym.
Yeah, did Roblox revert back to the old look?
What?
Really?
I'll
Wait,
send a
what?
I'll send a screenshot in chat. What I'm seeing on Twitter. I'm seeing a bunch of tweets. It's like Roblox is looking like the old form. Look, I'll send it. Unless this is just like something that they reverted back their Roblox just to get in.
Oh, this is the first time I've been on Roblox in like a while.
I'm seeing like screenshots of like people having reverted like Roblox back to when it was like arguably good.
Wait, is Tix back?
Yeah, they reverted. They definitely reverted. Yeah.
Where's Tix at?
Let me see if I can get on Roblox. Am I still in the maintenance page? Yeah, I'm still seeing the maintenance page. I know IVD got on. IVD is still in the chat. Yeah, no. IVD just said in chat that it's still the same old look. I guess because I remember I saw on Twitter Julius was telling me
Nah, it's the
oh
same. I'm on it right
yeah, it's the
now.
same. Yeah, Julius was telling me he found a way to get the Roblox back faster. I guess what he did, he just reverted his Roblox back.
Is there any
One
way
more
I can?
topic.
Sorry. Is there any way
Oh,
I
my
can
fault. Go
watch
ahead.
the Jackson versus Pody match? Is that on YouTube?
You might have to. I don't think it is, but it was a thing
Damn.
of beauty.
Unfortunately, no one recorded it, but
They should have.
it should have. I literally
Yeah,
wanted you to stream the event, but I don't know what happened.
I was busy.
Because
I
it
went to
was
the gym.
good.
I went to the gym at 5, and I think that's when the show started. So.
It was a beautiful event. I will give it to them.
Well, Roblox is back up. Jackson, your body, I hope it's okay now. You can finally get back to playing those games.
wait, I think so.
Yeah, Roblox is back up for certain people. Group owners, they're trying to get all group owners back up first because they're group owners and they have to get their shit together.
Yeah.
I own like 5 groups. Let me get back on.
Damn.
And all of
What
them
you
are
got going
irrelevant.
on?
All of them are irrelevant.
Yeah, I literally don't get on Roblox.
You guys want to hear all of the groups that I have access to, just to prove to you guys that I'm a very trustworthy person. Impact Wrestling, NRW, Southern Championship Wrestling, SEW, WWE, UWI, LNW, CWF, WCPW, Riot Productions, PBPW, Pro Wrestling Riot, Honor Wrestling, PWE, OWA, RSPW, WFA, UI, IEW, RWI, RWWW, and Roblania Studios.
Not good. Not good only because SRW isn't on there.
Yeah, I forgot. That's probably the biggest coup I could have gotten. Yeah.
I saw a question in the chat. I guess we can leave off on my boy XXX Tentacion. That's his YouTube thing. He wants us to talk about how to get known in the community. There's many different ways to get known. How y'all
Fake your
feeling
suicide.
about that question? Oh, okay, all right. We're gonna ignore that. That didn't happen. Jackson, how do you think someone could get known in the community? Ways that you've seen it happen or know they can in a positive way, of course. I gotta because I
Well,
here.
I feel like one good way to get you really known in the community is, I guess, by me reporting on you on the Steiner section. But you just gotta you gotta improve at your craft and join bigger feds once you improve your work.
True. IAs, any tips for you for the young lad?
This is gonna
Probably
be
go
a long one. If you really
saying.
want to get known in this community, let me just tell you. Hold on. First, let me just tell you that I would love for everyone watching right now, if you can, if you haven't already, to hit that thumbs up button, because we could really use them. And if it's possible, we'd love for you to share this podcast, as we did talk about a lot of stuff. I would actually love it if someone could create a if anyone's interested in replaying this podcast, if you haven't listened to the whole thing and you're interested in writing the timestamps, which is basically like when we talk about certain topics, DM me and I will pay you handsomely in Robux. Anyways, what was it? How to get known in wrestling? What I've noticed when people get noticed, it's usually because they just have a lot of friends in the community. So I would say just be generally, because if you ever want to really get noticed or have a lot of people in your corner, be nice to people. Just have a lot of friends. Look at what's her name? Kaylee Cross.
Extreme
Every,
loved in the community.
Loved in the community, and look where that's gotten her. She probably could get bookings at any Fed just purely based on I did that in UWI. I literally booked her just because she's known as that one Twitter girl. Like, bro, everyone knows her. So yeah, be nice to the people in the community. Get a lot of, you don't have to necessarily be friends with them all the time, but just generally have good connections, because you don't want to end up like Wide Cruise, which I actually didn't get to talk about in this podcast. One of the topics was, has Wide gotten too many chances? Well, we'll talk about that another
Yes.
day.
Oh.
If you want to get known in this community, be nice to people and start off at the indies, minors, and majors, as Sean said earlier. It's really simple. You don't have to be the best pro wrestler the to be the greatest. To be booked at like high levels. You can be a good character with decent pro wrestling skills, and that'll get you in great places. Like in UDW, I got 3-0'd by AJC, but we were on the poster of the event because the build to it was so good. We just went back and forth with these banger segments. And if you can do that, then that'll get you noticed. People will remember you. And if you can be unique, For instance, I chose to do an MVP gimmick. It's something that I've wanted to do for like forever, and I asked. I didn't just do it, but I actually took the step forward and asked Gianni, who is and I asked Gianni, how am I good? How can I make myself unique? And you can learn a lot of stuff from Fed owners because what people don't understand that if you really want to get booked, then you need to understand Fed owners before you understand Raw wrestlers because Raw wrestlers aren't going to book you. You don't ask Raw wrestlers for advice. Ask your Fed owners for advice. Like ask them what makes you want to book this guy. What makes you want to book your champion? Like what is special about them? And once you learn that, once you start to understand pro wrestling, because it's a very hard thing to understand, you'll begin to grow as a person, and maybe you just meet a guy like Johnny who wants to help people. Which, by the way, AXW is just a great loss to the community because they were amazing at teaching, like helping other people. But why is the chat window? Okay, sorry. Um, but yeah, guys. Just ask people. People want to help you. Yeah.
That's definitely a good way to put it. But yeah, that's a good way to put it. My spin on everything is if you want to get known, like you said, like I said, been saying for the entire podcast, start small and then work your way up. Hard work beats skill. That's what they say. And it's true. There's proof of it. And it's definitely possible to get known. There's many ways. You could just ride off of someone's name, like what Wide did with um Raheem De Niro. You could do that. Just write off of someone's name and get relevant. Or you could actually work for it. Not saying Wide didn't work for it. He's good. You could work for it and just build yourself up on your own name and have your own stage, your own platform. And once you get known, it's better to be a mediocre pro wrestler who knows what they're doing than be a top guy with no character at all who just shows up, clicks a clean, wins titles, and leaves. It's way better to actually know yourself and what you want to do. So that way, when you get noticed, I already have plans. This is what I've been wanting to do. This is what I want to continue to do. Instead of just being like, okay, I'm going to show up, win your world title, being an active champion who can't even deliver a proper promo or keeping kayfabe for a proper segment and disrespect your entire federation. But I'm still a top guy. I'm still relevant, so it doesn't matter. So it definitely depends on how you want to get known. There's a humble route, and then there's a I'm there at the top, so I've done what I needed to. Don't care. So there's definitely many routes to take in that situation.
And with that being said, I just want to thank everyone for watching. This has been a great podcast. Thank you, Sean, for coming on here. Jackson, thank you for managing all of this and reaching out. We really do appreciate you, Sean, for taking the time and being a guest. I hope we can have you as a regular on here. First, I'd like you to give us the plugs. Shout everything out.
Jackson or me?
You.
Oh,
Nobody cares about Jackson.
Okay. Damn. Sorry, Jackson.
Yeah, fuck me. Yeah, fuck me.
I guess. I guess. Shout out to Imperiality, my Fed, which I'm hoping to host. Shout out to Progress. Shout out owned by Packer P. Shout out to UPW owned by Chris Knight. Shout out to NYX by Stamp Party. Shout out to IWW. I forgot owned by who. Shout out to GNW, the media network. Shout out to Roblania Studios. I just want to take a moment to big ups to Roblania Studios. Just want to take a moment to say that. Shout out to all the Raw Wrestling theme channels. Yo, if I do this, we're gonna be here for a while. If I've spoken
Shout out
to
the
you,
high pro wrestling fans.
facts.
I meant to say
Factual.
shout out your stuff, but
Oh,
yeah, like your
oh,
like your Twitter or something.
oh, yo, my bad.
We ain't giving no
Um,
free promotion out here.
Yeah,
I apologize. I apologize. That's on me. That one's on me. That's my bad.
you were just on a roll, so I don't want to.
I was.
Yeah.
My social. It's at Tay Senpai. That's TAYESEMPAI. At Tay Senpai. My Discord. Tay Senpai hashtag 9340. If you ever want to hit me up. What else do I want to shout out? my SoundCloud. I don't post, but I'm hoping to. Also Tay Senpai, very original, I know. Um, and I guess shout out to if I've ever talked to you or had an interaction with you, shout out to you. Cause you've kind of shaped me in shape, size, form, or ways. So shout out to my Fed, shout out to me, and shout out to anyone I've ever talked to. And make sure after this video you hit that subscribe button, hit that post notification bell,
Shout
and
out
make
to
sure
every
you
human on the planet.
facts. And shout out to the people that watch this video. And make sure you follow my boys Jackson and IAs on Twitter. And once again, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell. And Ty Dev, does Ty Dev, IAs, does Ty Dev, does he deserve a shout out?
Ty Dev is the goat, dude. He literally
Is he?
he's recorded our interviews because I don't have the time to, and
Damn.
Jackson can't. He's moderated for us. He's always here for every podcast. Appreciate that guy.
I
Love that guy,
see.
man.
All right, well, shout out to Ty Dev, who helps out with Roblania
Yeah,
Studios. Shout out to
everyone.
Roblania Studios as a whole.
Thank you. Thank you. That means a lot. And Jackson, go ahead, plug your socials too.
You can follow me on Twitter at Jackson Steiner Ro-Wrestling. You can hear my horrendously terrible takes on Ro-Wrestling. And yeah, don't forget it, UWA. Underground of Honor finale was recently recorded, as well as an interview with Taz McCain. So give those videos a watch.
And as for me, the owner of Roblania Studios, first, if you want to follow me directly, my Twitter is @onlyays, which is where you'll find most of my stuff. You can also first subscribe to the Roblania Network. We're at 541 when I thought it was really going to stop at 500, but man, the numbers keep going through the roof. Currently, we've just finished Underground of Honor. More content will be releasing later on. I want you guys, join the Roblania Discord server. It's in the description. It's free. It's nothing. You go on Discord. Maybe one day you pop by, say something. Hey, and DM me what you would like to see from the network. We want to hear from you. Remember, like the stream if you can. Our Twitter for Roblania Network is @RoblaniaS. And with that being said, I just want to thank everyone for taking the time to come here. I want to thank you, and we hope you like, comment, and subscribe.